ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
What is up, guys? It is that time of the day for another review. This time I got the Godzilla vs Biollante special version. Now this is the final version for the NECA figures for the last two that got released. So you guys already know the process right here. Before I do any type of movement on any of my figures, I always like to get the hair dryer to make sure the ball joints are soft enough to have enough movement throughout the body. Now this prevents you from breaking any ball joint or ball joints, because if you don't do this process, chances are your figure is going to be very stiff. Whenever you move any type of ball joint, there's a chance that you could break your figure because of how stiff it is. So this should make the process a lot easier for anybody out there. Just use the blow dryer or apply some hot water, and it should make your life a lot easier to not struggle with articulation. Now the box is of course a beautiful box of Biollante versus Godzilla. You guys already know what's the deal here. I'll let you enjoy the video.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams. I'll find you in my
So this is the version of Godzilla vs Biollante, otherwise known as Godzilla 1989, and it is a very famous suit. A lot of people just love the way this design looks. It is very famous for the top part of his head. Everybody knows that part, and of course the thunder thighs. It has a lot of thickness right there, and throughout the years this suit remained as the years continue. So it is a very famous figure that got reused a lot of times, just with a few modifications to the rest of the Godzilla movies. Of course, this is two of the last figures that we will ever see from NECA as of right now, and those are the special color versions of the regular versions that we got about 2 months ago. So the other one would be Godzilla Tokyo SOS, and this is Godzilla vs Biollante, the V2 or the second special version of their respected counterparts. Now they decided to go with something unique, stylized, and we know that NECA isn't really known for 100% accuracy, but regardless of what they have done, this figure remains as one of the best from their line. When it comes to texture, he has different types of textures around different areas, like around his thighs. He has more straight lines going upwards to his stomach and his chest. You see that more traditional Godzilla texture, and around the head to the neck you have that more straight line type of texture around his arms as well. Now when you go around his tail, he has a different type of texture. So it looks like the textures are divided into 3 or 4 different categories with their own unique textures around it. For people asking, is this glow in the dark? No, it is not glow in the dark, as you just saw right there. I know in some areas of like websites it says glow in the dark, even for the Godzilla Tokyo SOS. Do not be fooled by that. It is not glow in the dark. To get that effect, you have to use a special type of technique. For accessories, he does come with one atomic breath. unique to his mouth, so it fits much better. Now, is this the same one as the Godzilla 2019 Supercharged? No, it is not the same. It might look the same, but this has a more spiral type of effect with a unique type of end. Now, to place this, you just have to place it downwards inside of his mouth to fit the type of pattern that there is, and you shouldn't have any problems. I do like this effect a lot more than Monster Arts. I noticed that NECA, they seem to be going for more unique type of effects, and this is a really good effect. You just cannot go wrong with it. One thing to notice, it is not translucent, so if you want to get those epic pictures, chances are you're going to struggle. The supercharged version is actually translucent, and this one seems to be lacking in that type of area, but it is still a well made effect for this Godzilla. I just love how they were able to capture the spiral effect that we see in the Godzilla movies or in the video games. It is beautiful. It is with a bluish type of white color, so you do have two type of colors, and you just cannot go wrong with this effect. Like, honestly, you can even use it for other Godzilla figures, knowing how to place it correctly. Now, for posability, this Godzilla again has much better articulation than some of the past Godzillas that we have seen. You can do some classic poses and some silly poses, some really epic poses, but one of my favorite parts about this figure just has to be how epic his tail is. It is incredible how much articulation you can get out of this figure around his tail. It kind of reminds me of Shin Godzilla, how massive and how the tail likes to go upwards and down and it curves around. It just reminds me of that type of vibe with this figure. And as you know, on the 80s and 90s, that's what Godzilla used to do with his tail. It used to go up and down, move around, so they captured that type of style perfectly with this NECA Godzilla figure. On his tail, you will find 8 ball joints, and even though it might seem so little ball joints on the tail, you still have a crazy variety of articulation, even much better than some of the Monster Arts or the past NECA figures. I don't know how they were able to do this, but it is a really good articulated tail that stays in place with any pose that you want. I don't have any problems with my tail falling. For the Thunder Thighs, great design right there. They were able to capture that. It has great articulation. I don't know, but I didn't have any problems with the articulation this time where some of the ball joints were loose. But I will say that at the beginning, some of the ball joints were very stiff, and that's because they were stuck due to the glossy paint that this figure has over the original. Like, I mean, very stiff, that even the blow dryer didn't do it justice. So I did have to use some type of force with this figure, but at the same time be careful not to break it. And what can I say, guys, like, the articulation on this figure, it is crazy. I think this one and Godzilla Tokyo SOS with one of their latest Godzilla figures, I think all of them have much better articulation that we just haven't seen before with the past figures. Essentially, this figure allows you to get crazy poses that you weren't able to do with other Godzilla figures, and it's a love Godzilla figure for sure from NECA. I have already seen tons and tons of pictures, people talking about it in Facebook, great reviews all over YouTube and other places. It is a fan favorite for sure, and I understand why. Like, honestly, design wise, it looks really awesome. Just the face, it is definitely a much improved figure over the original Burning Godzilla from NECA. Just the way the articulation works with the tail, that is a huge improvement when you compare both of them. Even the sculpture, this just looks more accurate versus the Burning Godzilla. A lot of people were complaining that it wasn't really that good enough with colors and articulation, and even that bendy wire tail, that wasn't a full-on tail. This is rocking a full-on realistic full-length tail. Articulation is crazy. The jaw opens really wide, and what can I say? I cannot complain with this figure. Sure, it might have some problems here and there. Now the other thing that might be a problem for some people is the paint job. I understand this is rocking a more glossy type of look over the original, but it's understandable. Why? Because this is the Biollante look. I understand what NECA were trying to do. It looks glossy because they're trying to emulate the spit of Biollante and the acid all over Godzilla. And the green, it's a neon green and a neon yellow with a much darker neon green. All of those beautiful colors give you the effect of the acid when you see Biollante attacking Godzilla in the movie. So it is a very unique figure for sure. X Plus, Monster Arts, and other companies have not thought of this idea for a Godzilla figure. So even for NECA to pull off this design, fan favorite, and this special color variant with those colors is really awesome. And not only that, but if you look closely on your figure, you see those type of sparkles that you would see in the movie when Biollante dies, like his spirit or whatever. You see that throughout the body on Godzilla, so that is a very cool effect. One of the perfect examples or comparisons that I can do is to the latest version from X Plus against Biollante. They were trying to do something similar with the glitter, giving it that sparkle type effect. Well, this figure also has that around his arms, his thighs, especially his chest, the top area of his head, the bottom part. So it is a very awesome, beautiful figure. Now for a size comparison, I'll let you guys enjoy the video. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Now it makes me wonder if they were able to deliver this type of quality with their last two figures, what would have happened if they continued to deliver more Godzilla figures, or even other monsters like Biollante, Ghidorah, Destroyer, Mothra. It just makes me wonder that how far they have come. It's extremely sad to say goodbye to their license and to their Godzilla figures. Like, they were the best in that type of quality, delivering figures at that price. Like, you just cannot beat $25 for that much of articulation or even the quality and accessories. It makes me wonder what would have happened if they continue. Just imagine how much better they could have gotten the other monsters that so many fans wanted. Regardless of that, thank you so much, NECA, for delivering the two best figures from your company. I wish you the best in the future, and I hope you come back. It's been truly an honor for me. I'll catch you guys next time. Ruby Gaming out.